Are we going?
I think we're rolling. I need that Chevy dealer Chevy thing to be brought
welcome
up.
to Bussin' with the Boys with your favorite hosts, Taylor Lewan and Will Compton. Taylor's about to absolutely dominate the Chevy ad that gets popped up here in a second.
I popped in some NAD the other day, so I'm really excited to test it out, my cognitive function on this read.
We have a phenomenal episode coming at you. We're going to talk about college football playoff. Pac-man Jones is zooming in to talk about his fight this weekend on Rough and Rowdy.
Yep.
We're talking NFL headlines. Where do the Titans go from here? Maybe some year 10, maybe not, but definitely Big Ten football. This is our trophy to lose.
Right.
I understand that I'm kind of putting myself in there as a Nebraska guy.
No, it's us. It's the whole Big Ten. It's the whole Big Ten.
But that will be up and coming after you absolutely disintegrate and body this.
And I think it's important that Will brought up the playoffs because it's really starting to seem like the playoff picture is starting to emerge. But one team has already won it all. That team is Chevy and its star player, the Silverado, a truck with unstoppable grit and determination. According to JB Power, Chevy trucks have earned more new vehicle quality awards than any other brand. That's some serious hardware. So go and head over to Chevy.com to learn more. Silverado, as strong and dependable as the people who drive them. For JD Power 2022 U.S. award information, please visit jdpower.com. Is that / forward slash awards? I see how you do the / and backward slash.
Is that am I even saying it right either?
That's outstanding. Hey, but also shout out NAD.
Yeah,
that really worked out. That really worked out. Now let's hop back on that real quick. The college football playoffs. We had a debacle. You, me, Portnoy, Big Cat, and then is it Ed? Big Ev. Who's an outstanding human being, great personality, a huge Ohio State fan.
He is a unit.
He is an absolute unit. And we were trying to say, hey, listen, if Michigan's the only team that's in this whole thing, you need to be rooting for Michigan because it makes everybody look better. That blowout you guys took in Columbus now looks a whole lot better. Nebraska looks a whole lot better, which we need to talk about that. Because Deion Sanders makes me a little nervous about that first game next year. We can talk about that in a second. Now, I think all us Big Ten fans want to see an Ohio State-Michigan national championship fight. But couple games coming up right now. TCU, Max Duggar.
How do you feel about
Duggan?
How do you feel about how the playoff has shaped up? Like you guys, like TCU lost. They're still number 3. Ohio State slides in. Congratulations, Mitch. I know Mitch is new to the show. I know everybody keep hearing Mitch's name. Mitch is Ohio State. He loves Ohio State because we played with him back in the NCAA back during the day in the video games. So he's been an Ohio State guy.
Prior on that
we will give him Ohio State. But Ohio State snuck in. That's something that we obviously didn't see it all coming.
Right.
Because we're really trying to argue everybody. We all need to back Michigan. We all need to do X, Y, and Z. Now Ohio State snuck in. We have 2 Big Ten teams in the college football playoffs. We have 3 different opportunities now to take out the SEC. I know that's like an anti-SEC, but also pro-Big Ten. So I don't know which one. At the end of the day, as long as the SEC doesn't win, I will be happy if Michigan wins. But to me, as long as the SEC doesn't win, I think that is what we need to have.
What if Ohio State wins?
Well, hang on. So if Ohio State wins, then that means Ohio State beat Georgia. I'm throwing a fucking party. If Michigan when Michigan beats TCU, and if Ohio State were to beat Georgia, that is the greatest scenario that can happen.
The greatest scenario.
You go to the national championship, I'm rocking blue. Like I'm for the boys. I'm for the Michigan boys at that point. If Ohio State ends up winning, it's like fuck. But me, there's so much not of a dog in the fight that it's like fuck, man. I feel bad for the boys of Michigan because they waxed them in the regular season, and they kind of slept on him. If that was the case, they would sleep on him that would be fun, dude. If the greatest rivalry in all of sports historically,
we needed him to say that,
gets to face off in the national championship just a month out from Michigan beating that ass, more so in the fourth quarter. However, that would be iconic, dude.
It really would be. And listen, if Ohio State can beat Georgia, which I'm praying to the high heavens that Ohio State can beat Georgia, that's incredible. I do think Michigan's go in. They're going to take care.
For what reason? Why do you want Ohio State to beat Georgia?
Because then the Big Ten's won.
The Big Ten has won.
And I think if we're looking at the Big... Now, let me just say this. I said in the last podcast, we need everybody behind Michigan. We need everybody behind Michigan for the national championship. That goes for everybody in the Big Ten. Now I need to practice what I preach. Let's say in a horrible case scenario, TCU beats Michigan and Ohio State beats Georgia. I'm scarlet and gray. And that is because it's bigger than myself. It's bigger than myself. It's about the Big Ten taking over the national championship, the national NCAA landscape, and being the best conference in the whole entire country. I hated saying that.
Hey,
and I know there's a lot of people that are upset about that.
Yeah, like that's perfect. That's a perfect little small clip just to have because you might get a little drugged by that. All because
Make sure that's in the clip too.
all because like you don't have to say that yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I'm saying
you don't even have to preface it. Like you can say I'm rooting for Ohio State over Georgia and then be fine with it because you want Big Ten to win. Like you'll wear the scarlet and gray against Georgia. But to just completely assume that TCU will get Michigan if Ohio State wins.
I know. I literally said in the worst case scenario. Worst case scenario. I think both of us have already said the best case scenario is an Ohio State Michigan national championship.
The reason both doesn't play is I'm not either one of these massive rivalries. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm on the coattails. Like
yeah, but if let's switch out Michigan for Nebraska.
You're not on the coattails. You're
I'm right. I'm driving this bus.
You're number 2 team in the country.
Yes.
Saying if in the worst case scenario we lose and then Ohio State wins, I will root for Ohio State
for the greater good of the Big Ten.
You didn't have to say that.
I know. I didn't have to say nothing. But this is me. Hopefully, Big Ev.
People watching Ohio State fans
understand.
Alike, Mitch.
Yeah, and I hope you guys understand. Like I understand that this is bigger than me. This is bigger than the grand scheme is to get the Big Ten to the top. I believe Michigan's going to be the team to do that. I, in my heart of hearts, think they're going to donkey stomp TCU. Max Duggar, heart and soul. Duggan, heart and soul of that Horned Frogs team.
Yeah,
heart and soul. And his press conference, the ginger hair with the rose cheeks as he's crying a little bit, melted my heart.
Yeah,
and I really hope he has a lot of success. Not in this next game, but I think Michigan's going to handle that business. And I'm really just praying. I really just don't want to see Georgia again, to be honest.
Yeah.
And Ryan Day does have the yips against Michigan right now. I think that's an easy dub.
Could. I mean, he's what? Oh, he's 0-2?
He's 1-2. 1-2. The last head coach at Ohio State, Coach Cooper, and he went 1-10-1 against Michigan.
1-10-1?
Yep.
I mean, 1-2, I don't know if you can say that's the yips yet.
That was his record in '89 when he became the head coach. I know that. And I think it's ridiculous, too, that people are calling for Ryan Day's head going 11-1.
Oh, yeah. People are...
He's lost 5 games. That's crazy. Yes, it happens to be against Michigan, and that is not okay. Yeah. And there's a couple of people clamoring about wanting Mike Vrabel up in Columbus.
That is a rumor going around.
There is a rumor going around. And if Mike Vrabel becomes the head coach of Ohio State, I'm scared for the boys in blue. He would do a great job.
He'd run that college football landscape.
He would.
Nebraska is in that conference now. In due time, boys. Lay low, stay low until you come up.
Yeah, but
that's all we're doing right now.
As far as
stay down until you come up. Thanks, JP.
As far as the college football playoff goes, public enemy number 1 is Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia, absolutely.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel? Because JP, like, how do you guys
South
feel?
Carolina boy.
Being fans of the SEC, how do you guys feel hearing all of the, we need the Big Ten to win, we root for all each other's schools? Like, I just want to hear what your guys' perspective, because I see them all out there, and I would like to take a head on and address it as well as I can.
I just think it sounds corny. Especially like Michigan and Ohio State. I can't imagine any SEC. It's like if Auburn was playing in the national championship, Alabama fans are not going to be like, we got to ride with Auburn. It's just like, it's just different in the SEC. And it's just kind of, you guys are sounding like little kids.
You guys, hang on now.
Cheering for it.
You did co-sign with me.
Yeah. We'll let Garrett go.
That was like directly at me, but you are with me. You know?
Well, yeah, I'm with you because I'm on coattails. There's not like, there's more damage that could be done to you.
Yeah. With
the Michigan Ohio State thing than there can be done to me. Like everybody knows, like look at fucking Will again. Just finding a win wherever you can get a win.
Wherever. Buddy, you're going to live forever. You're going to live forever. What do you feel?
I want to know why you don't want to play Georgia if you want to claim dominance.
Ooh. National championship claims dominance. That's just
for sure.
They don't ask how, they ask how many. And I'm just thinking
that's fine.
The path of least resistance is without
scared.
Georgia in it.
I think you just sound scared.
Listen, I'm not playing the game.
He already said I'm scared of Georgia. He said he's scared of Georgia.
I'm like, damn, them boys kind of rock. Now, Georgia's not as good as they were last year, and Michigan's better than they were last year.
Right, so that's the revenge.
So I think that evens out the scale, but I think from a talent standpoint, I said this about Ohio State. I think Ohio State technically has more talent in Columbus than they do in Ann Arbor, but coaching.
So you wouldn't want to like get back at them? You would want like the easy way around it?
I think a national championship's going to feel great no matter what. It's going to feel great no matter what.
Go Horned Frogs.
That's a.
Buddy, that is a sheep fucking move, dude.
Hey, hang on. You just said you want to pass the least resistance.
Yeah.
You just said that, and then you just said sheep.
Yeah. I fucking did. I really, listen, the Horned Frogs will get beat. I believe that in my heart. And whatever I don't know what the spread's going to be, but they probably cover that too. I
personally would not mind seeing that matchup again. Georgia, Michigan, because you do get to like get back.
They are the two best teams in the final.
The boys tucked their tail and ran. Like, even though you get another, they did. They
weren't aware.
I'm talking about last year in the college.
They just weren't ready. I don't know if they tucked their tail and ran.
Well,
they just weren't ready.
They ended up just taking a beating. Like they had to sit there and watch as they just got thrusted on top of. They had to watch. Like, no, you can't run. You got to sit here and take this. Like, that's what happened last year.
That's football. Like, you can't just leave. You can't go like in the third and go, "Hey, boys, we're just done here." You got to take it. They took it. I understand that. But what did we talk to with Herbie?
I know, but that right there, that loss, that sticks with you. That's what motivates you the entire offseason to get back where you are. And now you got a potential shot. Either one is going to be good for Michigan. But again, you beat Ohio State by 30 or however 20 something, whatever it was. You mopped them, dude. If you could get Georgia again, bro, and right that wrong from last year, like, you got to be salivating a little bit. I think if you're one of the boys, now I understand your perspective. But I'm talking about if you're the boys, like if you're in those four walls, you're almost like, you still want Georgia to win because you're like, we got to come correct. Like, we got to see them again.
I agree with what you're saying, but you're looking at it from like you're playing in the game standpoint. I'm looking at it from the outside, looking at it as a fan. As a fan, I'm like, what is the easiest way for Michigan to win this game for the least amount of stress on the fan watching? Yeah. And if I see Scarlet and Gray versus Maize and Blue in the national championship, to me, I'm feeling real comfortable because I believe Ryan Day's got the yips. I think they figured out the formula to beat Ohio State. I really do. And I know that's like, all right, we know the game plan there. Georgia's got a hell of a lot of talent. They ragdolled Tennessee. They've been ragdolling everybody except for Missouri. No, you're not catching shit. I'm just saying, like, they've gone against a harder schedule and have done very well with that schedule.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm like, let's just get this natty. Like, what'd Shane Gillis say? They haven't won anything since Hitler was alive.
They won a half a national title since Hitler was alive.
Yeah, and trust me, Shane texted me like during the Ohio State games, talking shit. Texted me yesterday about how Philly's beating the shit out of the Titans. Like I've been getting ragdolled by Shane for like a couple of weeks, and I'm like, it's just I don't know why he's so about Notre Dame either. He went to West Point or whatever the fuck he went to. Shout out the troops. I absolutely love the troops, but we're talking about football right now.
Yeah.
You know?
He loves ball.
He loves ball.
He loves college ball too.
He loves ball.
But to answer your question, JP, well, not to answer your question, to answer your statement on it's corny, that you guys root for the big picture. He said corny. The big picture of the entire thing.
Tell
like
him.
This is what I was trying to explain to Big Ev too. Like, do you want to feel like your ass whooping from Michigan was at least respected? Because if Michigan goes in there and gets embarrassed in the college football playoff again, our conference looks just hella weak, dude. Like, Ohio State, we look weak, and you just got dusted by Michigan. Like, you have zero respect. You can't hang your hat on nothing. The way the SEC has dominated the college football landscape, there's so many rivalries. Like, you get to say SEC football's different because they've created it to be such a thing. Mm-hmm. Alabama almost got in by just saying, hey, we're Alabama. Like, you guys need a
fucking... Nick Saban was out there doing that shit.
Like, he's just going on a media tour. Like, they almost got in just because they were Alabama. Like, that's respect to the SEC. For us to have any type of validation or for us to have any type of competition with the SEC or to be in that national, like, just, hey, the Big Ten is the best conference, you have to win a national title. Like, you got to get the college trophy in the Big Ten championship.
It's a long game.
To do that, you're going to have to back the team that represents the Big Ten. Now that there's two in there, the entirety of the Big Ten should be rooting for Ohio State and Michigan, all until we get the trophy in. Once you can create that a little bit and start to have momentum and winning, then you can start to say, fuck everybody else. Because I'm sitting there thinking, like, damn, like, I think I would root for Iowa, but I would be like, that would suck if Wisconsin haunt my nightmares forever, or I was in the Natty trying to win. But I would want them to win because if I get beat, I want whoever I'm getting beat by to be the fucking best. So that way, at least you can be like, well, I lost to the fucking best player, the best talent. And until we get that Big Ten, until we get that Natty in the Big Ten, it's not going to be that way. So for us to get it, we need fucking everybody. We need continuity. We need unity. All the Big Ten repping the Big Ten schools to bring the Natty. It's just like, hey, Game of Thrones, boys. JB, you haven't watched Game of Thrones. Who's the enemy in Game of Thrones? At first, they're all enemies. They're all fighting over the throne. They're all fighting for that kingdom, that chair, that seat. We're going to be the fucking king. But there's an enemy, the White Walkers. The White Walkers are the SEC. That's a tip of the cap to you guys. That's fucking respect. You guys are the White Walkers. What did the Seven Kingdoms have to do to defeat the White Walkers? They all had to stop all their dumb bitch-ass bickering rivalries that they got going, their little agendas and plots of chess. They had to put their swords down. They had to come together to defeat a common enemy. What's the quote?
The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yes. And that is what we are facing right now as a Big Ten conference. The White Walkers, the SEC is the enemy. We got to get them out. We got to bring a national title home to the Big Ten championship.
Once that comes into the Big Ten, then we can now go back to our respective spots, start playing chess, and then go at it. You guys have the luxury. We'll say you guys have the luxury of hating each other because the SEC conference is that good. The SEC wins national championships all the time. Big Ten gets it.
Auburn, Alabama, they both have national titles within the last 2 decades. Fucking South Carolina ended this year. There's articles written, they're the sneaky best team by the end of the year. Tennessee's back in it. Everybody in the SEC, besides Vanderbilt and fucking Mizzou and shit, no disrespect to the boys and A&M, they're not really, they're sort of, but everybody else, they got a fucking shot.
They got a shot.
We don't. We have a few teams, and we need those few teams to be the fucking top.
Mm-hmm.
The top, because when Michigan gets the national title this year, mark your calendars, boys, September 30th next year, we will be going after the national champions. And that's where rivalries become greater.
After hearing your explanation, I'd like to retract my statement.
No. He's got.
I would never do it, but I respect where you're coming from.
Oh, I thought you were about to hit me with something I did not see coming. You looked over at Garrett and you both kind of nodded. He goes, after hearing I hear Taylor doing this, I'm like, this is exactly what he wants to happen.
Hold.
Yeah.
There really is. That was outstanding.
Thanks.
Give the gift of an awesome experience this holiday season with Game Time. If you're nervous that your present won't arrive in time or simply forgot to holiday shop, Game Time tickets get delivered to your phone and inbox instantly. Wow. I did really good in that show.
Right.
Yeah, we're good.
Let people know that Game Time is the exclusive ticketing partner.
There's no question. That's exactly what they are. Game Time has the best tickets, and you'll get an awesome price on them. If you haven't given Game Time a shot yet, now is the time. We've been using Game Time all year and went to Michigan, Nebraska. We went to South Carolina, Tennessee. It was
Notre Dame, Clemson.
Download the Game Time app, go to Account tab to create a login and redeem code Bussin. That's BUSSIN for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Download Game Time, last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. And back to the episode. What's that?
Something I didn't really think about until this weekend was that in the Big Ten, they need to separate, is it the West or the East? Whatever side that has Michigan, Ohio State, Michigan State.
That's the East.
Okay.
Penn State also is in that.
Right. So
they got an insane
Buddy, I
think
think
gotta figure that out.
I like where we're at right now, given where our record is.
Right, for sure. But
we got some
do we know what side USC and UCLA's are?
Probably in the West.
Jesus.
Well, they probably make a West East, who knows? But I think in 2024, when they come in, they're going to get rid of that. And it's going to go back to kind of when we played, where it's just hey.
Open range.
Yeah, open range kind of mentality. Because then the college football playoff is going to go to 12 games as well.
Right.
So that whole division stuff, it might not age very well in that type of situation.
Yeah.
So, but that'll be good when it goes to 12. Then it's we're not doing all this stuff. We're sitting here.
We're no longer doing that because now there's 3 teams in the Big Ten.
There's 12 teams that can get in.
Yeah, it would legit be Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State in this thing right now. Now at that point, you got 12. We can all sit back and go, hey, everyone, good luck. We got to fight our own battles now.
Yeah.
You know?
The projected 12 team that they did for this year looks sick.
Right.
It looks unreal.
And it could be anyone's game.
Oh, for
sure. An off year like Alabama had. They could just go and win it because they're Alabama. Tennessee could have been in there. And who knows what would happen? A rematch between them and Georgia. It would be a 12-game playoff is going to be outstanding. It's really going to be cool. I can't wait to see it.
It is going to be sick.
But going back to the present, Michigan needs to fucking take this thing home. We need it.
Yeah, you guys got game 1 against TCU. TCU can be tough, man. Who knows? You never know. I guess.
No, I think it's going to be a game. I'm not.
Dance. Who knows what's going to happen? Georgia's fucking tough.
Georgia's public enemy number 1. We've already said that. They are
Ohio
so
State,
fucking good.
Mitch, if you're Ohio State, it's got to feel like those boys got to be just excited they're fucking getting in it because they have such a bad taste in their mouth getting getting dumped by Michigan that they're like, we got to beat Georgia because in their mind Michigan's going to beat TCU, and they're like, we fucking got it. It's the same thing on the whole Michigan wanting to probably play Georgia again. Like, we got to get.
They want Georgia. I know that Michigan wants Georgia.
Yeah,
in Ohio State's getting their best wide receiver back, Jackson Smith and Jigba. So I mean, he was out. He's been out damn near all season. So like, he's going to help a little bit. He had like 300 yards in the Rose Bowl last year. He's really, really good. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to help Ohio State all that much. Like, as an Ohio State fan, I'm nervous going against Georgia. I wanted to play Michigan again because of like the rivalry and everything. It'd be super cool to be in a playoff, but like, it's an uphill battle for Ohio State to go against Georgia.
That's how it should be, though. I mean,
it's an uphill battle for everybody against Georgia.
USC lost. Like, what a fucking
bunch of frauds. Bunch of fucking frauds. USC.
I can't get like. I get really worked up over it because you're like, how in the fuck, dude? Like, you lost to Utah the first game. You're trying to we're going to get these boys back. You get a neutral site, and then you lose to them. How bad did they lose? By like 30? Bro.
Yeah, but it was close in the first half.
You look at
they were up. They were up.
They ended up 11-2 after probably the last decade for USC. Like, they're. Yeah. I get pissed and then I try and realize, like, it is only year one with Lincoln Riley.
Do you think Ohio State should not have gotten in and Alabama should have got in?
No, there's no part of me that thinks Alabama should have got in. Alabama should have never got in.
All right.
Never.
I agree with that. I was just asking because there's a lot of people out there that thinks Alabama should be in.
That was a little spark in me. It's like, there's zero part. Alabama should have never been in there. When Saban was on that camera talking when Saban was on that camera talking about how they should basically making the case, like, he did a great job as always. Like, that's what he's supposed to do.
Right.
But I'm like, if this is what Saban's doing, like, this isn't the Alabama team we know to be in the playoff. Like, they should not get in that right. For sure.
It is a recruiting tool.
He's a savant.
Going back to recruiting too, when these other Big Ten teams that aren't in the national championship, it's going to help everybody because now Nebraska and all these other schools get to say, hey, this is the best conference. Like, you want to be in the best conference.
You want to play the best.
Here. You want to play the best.
Michigan's on the schedule next year.
Yeah, we're playing the best. Exactly. Yeah. And so we need it.
We need it. That's a good point too. Like, that's a good point. Why we won't continue to just get in. Why this whole... That's brutal.
That's brutal. You don't fucking want that. Garrett just asked if they both go down, both Big Ten teams go down in the playoff. It's like, fuck. We're right back to now SEC's got it. Because I don't know if TCU's hanging with Georgia. I honestly don't know. The team that's best to hang with Georgia is Michigan.
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't let that. Hey, that hasn't happened. Don't let that fucking. Don't let that play out your candle.
I'm going through the steps right now, and it is a nightmare, brother.
It's tough. We're a Big Ten podcast right now.
Yeah. Fuck, I hope that doesn't happen. That won't happen. No bad vibes. No bad vibes. Jack, I would love to get your comment and thoughts on we both lost the South Carolina Bowl. Is that tough?
I mean, I don't know if this is like a setup question. Obviously, that's tough.
I was just wondering how you're doing. I was asking JP. He said you hadn't really said much.
I'm doing great because Tennessee in the last decade has underperformed, killed our hopes, ruined my mental health. And we had 2 losses on the year. We beat Alabama. We had 4 ranked teams. We, by far, out of all the teams remaining, had the most difficult schedule. We lost to, I did make a bet with JP. I got to wear some South Carolina gear, so I will honor my bet with him. So
it's tough to see.
I mean, the photos, I don't know if that's necessary.
Take a photo.
All I know is that we're playing on a New Year's Day bowl. I don't give a fuck if it's the South Carolina Bowl. All you little, like, the Buffalo Wild Wings bowls and like
that was the last bowl game I played in.
I'm happy with it. But yeah, the whole we lost the South Carolina Bowl. Don't give a fuck because Tennessee, incredible record, incredible season. Didn't end the way we wanted it to, but I'm super happy with our team. We got some promise moving forward, and I stand with Coach Heupel. Dude is all time.
Yeah, Hype's the man.
But it's tough.
Hype is the man. South Carolina really just fucking ruined everything.
Yeah, they did. I was happy that they beat Clemson because it, made our loss seem a little bit better. But yeah, at the end of the day, we're playing on New Year's Day. It should be
playing a fun January. Yeah, playing in January.
And 1 bowls.
Should be a fun game. Hopefully beat Clemson.
Where's it at?
In Miami.
What bowl is it?
Yeah.
Orange Bowl?
Yeah, it's a solid bowl game. I mean, it used to be a BCS bowl,
So,
right?
I mean, yeah, in Tennessee fans know more than anything. We are like accustomed to going to the music. They call it the Music Shitty Bowl, and we lost to Purdue last year in horrible fashion
Big Ten.
in Nashville. So it's fun that it's not in Nashville this year. So I'm excited. At the end of the day, Georgia's gonna wipe Big Ten, and this isn't just coming at y'all, but that's Georgia.
Well,
They're
clearly,
different.
all I asked was
Hey,
like,
let him
your
let him,
thoughts. It's, okay.
let him speak his truth
I just listened to y'all talk for 10 minutes about how you're
on
like
our podcast.
on our podcast.
Joining-
Yeah.
Yeah. And y'all have joined alliances as the Big Ten against the SEC. SEC come, what is it, January 9th, will reign supreme as always. So that's where I stand.
It's crazy how people say like, "Oh, the SEC doesn't do that," and Jack just did the thing that we're doing
Yeah.
for the SEC.
No doubt. It happens no matter what. Like, it's,
I didn't stand Georgia like y'all are standing your biggest rivals, though. I'm just saying that the SEC, at the end of the day.
Hey, relax, Will.
But at the end of the day, I really just want good football for 2 more games for that playoff. So if that can be delivered in any fashion, I'll be happy as a fan. So
Michigan plays TCU in Arizona.
yeah. When's the date of that game?
If
December.
Michigan goes all the way,
No, it's January 1.
are you gonna go to the national championship if Michigan makes it?
I think yeah. I would like to. Yeah, I haven't really thought that far ahead.
I think we. Yeah.
But
You have
the
to.
Barstool Bowl game is 2 days before that in Arizona.
They haven't announced that game yet, have they?
No, it's gonna be Ohio and Wyoming. Yeah.
Okay.
I think Big Cat's jumping out of a plane
No, he's not.
and parachuting. Yeah. And to sing the national anthem. I don't know. I think
No,
there's-
he's not.
There were whispers of that happening.
Could you imagine if that didn't go well?
I think he'd be going out the way he wanted to go
Yeah,
out.
there's
You know
no
what I mean?
question.
You
No
want the
question.
internet to be the internet in that situation.
Is he too heavy to? You can only be like 250 pounds.
Oh,
You can only be
Not gonna-
250.
oh no!
I'm not. That's not a disrespectful thing to Big Cat. He wears the Spanx. He wears a full. What do you mean?
Whoa. I think that's a secret. I think
you're.
it's a secret.
He literally did it on the yak. He showed it. He's been wearing it for
Put
2
the
weeks.
camera on him.
He did it when we weren't there.
He has talked about it on.
He talks about it a lot. Yeah.
I know. I was hoping
But
you guys
you
were
need
gonna
to
go with me in that.
You need to not do that.
Oh no!
You need to not do that.
Like, hey, good luck out there, man.
I mean, he's got to be under 250, I think, to jump out of a
Your
plane.
first question was, is he too heavy? And that's a whoa.
I am too heavy to jump out of a plane.
You're 6'7".
But Big Cat's not short.
That's
taller than you.
That's fair, bro.
He's taller than you.
That's fair. I'm just saying, like,
It says tandem, like when you're attached to somebody, which he would have to do unless he does 500 jumps, which I'm assuming he's not. The max is 230 pounds.
Yeah, this Big Cat's not jumping out of that plane.
whoa,
No, dude, don't be
come
fucking.
on, man.
Don't be that
That's
way,
our
dude.
boy.
He's our boy. I fucking love Big Cat. Big Cat, I love you to death, buddy. But I also want you to live forever. I don't want him to die.
Yeah, man.
Well, JP, fuck you, dude. Don't just say that's crazy. Don't fucking do that. Over here, fucking open season on me right now. God, Deion Sanders of the Colorado Buffaloes, dude. Let's talk about that. Does he make you a little nervous?
No.
All the best players from Jackson State. Jackson State,
HBCU.
they had the number one high school player go there.
Yeah, well, he's like a kid right now. He's a freshman.
He's going to transfer to Buffalo.
Yeah, that doesn't just turn a 1-11 football team into like national dominance.
I'm just saying. I'm worried.
I'm excited.
I need Nebraska to be 4-0 going against Michigan. Need them.
Oh, brother, don't you worry. We're taking care of everything in house right now.
Okay. Listen, I hope Matt Rule has a lot of success. I hope he kills it. We know his track record. It takes a few years. So I just hope he can get these 4 games in and then take
You
that
never know.
whooping.
It's a different style now too. Like it's a prime example with Coach Prime leaving Jackson State. He's got a lot of big time recruits like taking to the internet, trying to this whole portal thing is just about to be a free agent frenzy.
Yeah.
Not even like worse. Like it's not like the NFL's bad, but this is going to be much more than the NFL free agency. Like
It'll be more because there's more players and there's more schools. But like legit, how long is the NFL?
let me give you an example.
Okay, I'll finish my thought later.
So I don't fully understand how like all the portal dates and everything work, but let's just say you are the prominent left tackle at Michigan, like you were in college. You would have an All-American year, and say you're returning for your senior year. it would be in your best interest, even though you're going to play for Michigan in your senior year, it would still be in your best interest to hit the portal to leverage NIL deals and money to go somewhere.
Yeah.
So even players that are going to stay, like the portal's going to be insane coming up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So you're saying Nebraska has that?
Yeah, I'm saying we could be on a faster track for maybe Rule doesn't need 3 years. Obviously, like that's just putting expectation on them. But you can go after guys and target guys now from other schools. You're not just looking at in-house being like Deion's coming in, like he feels confident. He should feel confident. Like I think he's a stud. He seems like a stud leader. I enjoy that he puts everything in the public eye for everybody to kind of watch. You hear all of his speeches, his talks to the team. Like he seems like a good leader and a good football coach, and guys want to play for him. That's the biggest thing. He can walk in and talk to those dudes that way, because at the end of the day, that's a 1-in-11 program you're sitting there talking to. So you want to say whatever you're saying. I know we haven't gotten to his team meeting speech, but he's talking to these guys saying, I'm bringing my own luggage. Like there's your quarterback right there. He's bringing other players, and everybody thinks that's a little bit of like, hey, that's a little OD. Like you're just going to come in and say, these guys are getting spots, yada, yada, yada. At the end of the day, you want to have such a first impression of like a team meeting like that to weed out people who don't want to be there, because you're looking at a 1-in-11 program. You asked if we're nervous of being Nebraska. It's like, I mean, no, unless he just comes out swinging. I think there's probably going to be a learning curve going from HBCUs to the Pac-12. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hope you're right.
But I do think guys are going to flock to want to play for him.
I do. I think that too. I think guys are going to want to flock to play for him. So when you look at that transfer portal that you were just saying, those guys are going to look at Buffalo. It's a beautiful place. It's Deion Sanders. And they're going to fucking...
I was thinking New York too. I was like, Buffalo. Oh, he's talking about the Buffaloes.
The Buffaloes, yeah. You got those guys. They're going to... If you're looking at that, both programs that are down on their luck right now, people are probably going to swing more towards Colorado because Deion Sanders. That's why.
Yeah.
That's why I had that comment. I was like, don't you kind of want Deion? Because he's from a recruiting standpoint, he can get guys. I think Matt Rule is going to be
Deion was on my list.
Successful. Extremely. Yeah, I know.
Deion was on my list. I think he would have been a spot shot
on my list.
I think the one thing that...
I was dead serious. Yeah, he was on my list.
I think one thing that Deion has now, being at a Division I school, recruits or transfer portal from other big schools are going to be more likely to go there than to downgrade. Not that going to an HBCU is a downgrade, but
it very much is. It is a downgrade. Yes, it is.
I'm just trying to like tiptoe that water.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
white guys on the bus. HBCUs are
right.
Yeah.
Will said that. But I just think there's an advantage there. Same that Matt Rule will have, but Deion's got a different presence, I think.
Yeah,
he's got a lot of. He's got Like you're gonna get a boost in status just neighboring up with Deion Sanders.
One of the Alabama running backs that hit the portal tweeted at Deion, was like, "You got room for me."
I did see that.
So you're gonna get guys with talent to go there.
Like this could be one of the fastest turnarounds we've ever seen.
Yeah, potentially. That's a good point.
He's at a relevant school that historically has had some success.
I need to get on the phone with Coach Rule. Yeah,
Nebraska's best bet to get people to Lincoln is fat money in the NIL deals.
Yeah.
You need to be paying people more than any other school.
I might have to be doing some in-home visits. Hey, brother. Let me get you in our program.
Well, Coach Rule, you can't.
Yeah.
Well, what's your recruiter bitch? Hey, you see the followers between us and Bussin and everybody else? You want us to shout you out?
I think it's going to be. I hope to God Nebraska wins that first game. I hope you guys do.
To Minnesota. Our first game, week 0, is against Minnesota. Home game. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We need all of Nebraska at Boulder for Deion's first home game.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the AD?
Yeah.
The AD press conference.
He was basically begging the fans.
Saying, please don't sell your tickets. Like, I don't want to see red. Brother, you're seeing red.
Yeah.
Like,
he doesn't know how Nebraska travels.
Yeah.
Nebraska travels like fucking crazy.
We have people living in Colorado for decades. Like, there's Husker chapters already planted in Colorado.
People have moved there just for that game. They bought houses.
Yeah, this has been premeditated. You will be seeing red, brother. And Deion will be getting that ass whooped. And we will be there supporting the boys.
Will we?
I'll be there supporting the boys, arm in arm. Yeah, supporting them motherfuckers, dude, because we're going to be 1-0 coming out of Minnesota, and I know I'm talking out of my ass right now. I'm doing the thing that everybody does not want me to do. But
Minnesota is also a team you can't really sleep on either.
You can't sleep on them. But I think that's week 0. I believe we are home. I believe it's a home game. Home opener, there. Oh, Colorado, there.
No, you're in Colorado.
Yeah, I'm going.
You're going to Minnesota and Colorado.
Yes.
Is the bus going too? Or is this a will
I
trip?
don't know.
This is a will
know
trip?
I'm going.
Yeah.
Like, I know I have to do my part and play my role. Like, I've got to help. And that's my way of helping.
I love that.
You know what I mean? And then I'm going to take a week off. I'm going to take a little break. And then we might have something else to do with Bussin. And then we're going to be there for Michigan. I'm talking 3 out of the first 4 games. You're going to have full support from the boy. I'll be doing my part. Like, just give me the title. Like, what was Caleb Presley in North Carolina? The morale coach. I'll be the morale coach.
You would be an
for the
outstanding
Huskers.
morale coach.
I'll be the morale coach for the Huskers.
You're legit 12-0 in your mind. Somehow, every single week, you found a way to win.
I'm not 12-0 yet. Because, again, I don't want to put that kind of pressure on the boys.
No, I'm talking about throughout this season that just happened. You found a silver lining in everything.
Oh, yeah, I'm always going to figure out. I'm always going to spin a win somehow. You know what
You're
I mean?
like Jersey Jerry with the signs.
yeah.
Fucking
I'm
figuring this shit
spinning a
out.
win somehow.
Yeah, dude, I think it's going to be, I want to go to that game. I'm coming with you.
Good. I need you. I like if it, like I didn't know you're like, oh, are we going or is it you? I didn't know if it's like, are you saying all of Bussin's going?
I don't know about Nebraska, Minnesota. Like, I'll let you have that one. I'll let you go to that one by yourself. Like, good luck, buddy. But like Colorado, I'll be in Boulder with you.
Good. I'll listen. Everybody's welcome to join me. Like,
We're linking arms.
we're ready to suit up.
I'll be wearing red that day.
That's
I
what
will.
we need, brother.
Unless Deion comes with that bag, then it's just business. It's just business.
Damn, that would be crazy.
Wouldn't that be wild?
Yeah, that'd be crazy. Now, the goal would be to interview Deion while we're there because Deion, like, I'm gonna have to try and get in his head a little bit.
Yeah, and I get that. I'm with you.
Yeah, well, you literally
What if we get
just,
Deion and
you literally just said he could pay you off, so I don't know if you're actually with me.
yeah,
like
but he
that.
hasn't paid me off yet, so we're good. I'm with you
He goes, unless Deion throws me the bag, and then I kind of say, you're going, hey man, I'm with you. Like, are you?
right now.
All right.
Absolutely. I'll let you know. You'll know if I'm not. You will absolutely be aware. We should get Matt Rule and Deion before the game.
Yeah, we could probably swing that. I bet.
Absolutely.
I gotta send this little video for your boy's already in there working in the recruiting game a little bit.
I fucking love that.
You know, we were talking about the long game, how we've always we were already planted in Colorado. Like, it's inevitable that they're going to see red. We interrupt this episode to bring you Georgia Boot. Georgia Boot makes super good looking and super comfortable boots. So comfortable, you never want to take these boys off. They hold up in any condition without sacrificing comfort or style. Guys, I'm telling you, if you have a dad out there, or you're an outdoorsman, you need to get these boots. Obviously, they have the comfort technology of an athletic shoe packed into a great looking boot. Yes, you can wear them around the house and do stuff comfortably. But if you are an outdoors person or your dad is, I'm telling you, these are the boots you want. Whether you're working on your feet all day, you're out hunting, working around the house, grilling out with your boys, out in the cold weather, stomping around in the snow. These boots don't sacrifice comfort or style. Head over to georgiaboot.com. Use code BUSSIN, that's BUSSIN, for a generous 20% off. Christmas is coming. Get your dad, get your boys, get your girl, get your outdoors person some Georgia boots. Back to the episode. You know who else won their little long game? AJ Brown.
Yeah, my tweet did not go well.
AJ essentially,
He won.
AJ got the W.
Yeah.
Like,
Like the Eagles really didn't get a W.
when whatever happened,
Well, the Eagles also got a W because they have AJ.
yeah, everything that happened between AJ and the Titans in the offseason, like during draft night, all the articles, like all the people on Twitter or social media going after him, like just the back and forth, the entire thing. Like, when you're AJ Brown, when you're visualizing catches and touchdowns and celebrations and everything else, like, it couldn't have went any better for him yesterday.
Yeah. The fact that they called that one play incomplete, that would have been a touchdown. And the very next play, double move for a touchdown. I was like, man, he was just destined for this.
Yeah, because he did the little celebration. It's like, that's a good celebration. Like, I'm going to whoop your ass. I'm going to love you afterwards. So, like, once he did the spanking and then the hug, I was like, oh, man. Then it got called back. I was like, oh, he's going to be sick that got called back. And then to do a double move, and then everybody's like, OPI. It's like, dude.
That's not
He
OPI.
broke him off and he was falling and he just ran him over on the way to the end zone.
Yeah.
And then he scored and then was literally just like, you don't. And then he scored again later in the game. Like, those are the
He had
the
3
moments.
touchdowns? 2. He had 2
Two,
touchdowns. That's
3,
right.
but 1 was called back. So yeah, 2 touchdowns. But that's literally like, when you're playing like high school ball and you're about to play your rival and you just visualize you making the best plays and everybody singing like all the fucking haters, this, that, like, I'm about to show out. That happened.
I feel like
On
he
Sunday.
has a calendar and he had that date circled
100%.
and was like, and he's had it circled since literally the day he got traded.
Yeah, it was a wallpaper on his phone.
And as a Titans fan, it hurts a lot, but I was also extremely happy for him because he's killing it. And he's kind of had a couple like 3-week span where he wasn't like traditionally being like the guy on their team, but he's very much now solidified back as
I mean, him and Devontae Smith. Oh my fucking
Yeah,
god!
they have a great
They're-
receiving core.
the Eagles are
Yeah,
so
they are
for real this
scary,
year.
bro.
Mhm. Dude, yeah, their penalties were terrible. They had so many. They literally tried to keep the Titans in that game, and it just didn't go well. For me, sitting there, still part of the team,
Yeah.
I'm like, it's a difficult thing to defend. I think they're going to find it.
How's it for you watching the game now, like a few weeks out, just watching the season unfold?
It sucks because you're not really like when you're on IR, you're not really around the team. Like you go in, you do treatment, but you're doing treatment when everyone's in meetings. Like the only time I see the boys is like today and Tuesdays,
Yeah.
and that's if they come in on an off day. So it's hard. Like I went and watched the film with the O-line today, and I was like talking to Dennis Daly about a couple things you could do differently, or like help him out with some stuff, and Nick. But like for real, like the farther when you're on IR and this happened in 2020, the farther you're removed from it, the more you feel like you're less a part of it.
Yeah.
You know, and it is just the reality. I got like people on social media coming at me being like, why aren't you in the sidelines? Well, that's a team rule. Otherwise, I would be in the sideline for every game. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you go watch that. It's like when Philly on that first drive,
And when you say
With
team rule,
ease.
you're saying like no IR guys are allowed on.
no IR guys are allowed on the sideline. Yes. Otherwise, I would literally travel to games. I would love that. But when you watch the Philadelphia Eagles on offense travel, like it looked so easy for them to go and score on that first drive. You're like, damn, like I hope the boys are ready. And then Derek held only 30 yards total.
Fuck, man.
It's hard to see, and you can't help it when you're watching the game being like, damn, I wonder. You play the Eagle game in your head, like if I was out there, I could have helped more. I could have done X, Y, and Z, but it's just, you know, if I was out there, it probably wouldn't have been a whole lot different based on how the day was going for everybody. Traylon getting hurt. Someone told me we might have to pull this
What
up.
a fucking what a
That was
snag,
insane.
too, bro.
That was insane. Someone told me that his stats at this point in the year are like very. Was that you, Garrett? You said that to me. Someone said to me that they're very similar to AJ Brown, which is awesome.
Yeah, their first year as a rookie because AJ wasn't as explosive in the beginning of the year as he was later in the year.
And Traylon seems like he's coming along. Like he seems like he's really.
Speaking of that because there's so much of a comparison since
There
AJ
has
go
to
the
be,
Eagles,
yeah.
And then they
They
drafted him in the
traded,
third.
blah
They
blah
traded him.
blah, and then yeah, that's a crazy deal. You know,
The Eagles are tough, man. Like we're talking
They're
about
good.
Devontae Smith and AJ and their passing attack with
Their
Jalen
defense
Hurts and
is good
everything
too.
else. But just a week or two ago, they rushed for like, was it a
300
league
yards.
record? Like 300 and something
their
yards.
offensive line is elite.
Yeah,
Their
like, they
offensive line
have a
truly is
good
elite.
team. And if they're holding the King to 30 yards,
Yeah,
Ryan completed like 11 passes. Like their defense is fucking good. They're pressuring the quarterback and getting sacks without blitzing.
yeah.
And that's when you know you're fucking dominant. Because you can drop 7 guys in the coverage, 7, 8 guys in the coverage.
Yeah, you rush 4 and get home that fast.
Yeah.
That fast. That's tough. Their D line's legit, but they have no dudes that are like a Von Miller type guy. Like Fletcher Cox is there, but Fletcher Cox is getting old. Like he's still a stud. Like you saw him chase down Tannehill on that 3rd and 3, and it ended up being what 4th and 5. He got a sack on that play. He's still a stud, but they just got dudes that have juice, and are fucking going right now.
Yeah, and they're rolling. When you got a team who like they all believe in each other, themselves, the locker room, any
look
move
at-
that they're making, it's like it's all the vibes are up. Like that one game earlier in the year, and they're all riding the bike right afterwards to get ready for the Thursday night game and just having fun. Like they're one of those teams that are just fucking rolling, and they're gonna be tough to beat.
And being on another team, like I feel like the Titans were this way a couple years ago, where you like look at them on the sideline, like, they have a good locker room. Like you look at the Titans and be like, hey, they look like they're having fun. They all like each other. They're having a good time. When I was watching that game yesterday, it really seemed like, man, the Eagles probably have a fire locker room. They have a bunch of dudes that just love each other.
Yeah, and they dropped that.
They have. I think Jason Kelsey he just seems like an outstanding leader. He seems like
does,
that
man.
fucking dude. Yeah, Jalen, and good for Jalen too. All the shit he had to go through in college, and beast. He's a
Did it-
fucking beast.
And did it the right way in college too. Like he got benched, was very humble about it, like supportive of it was Tua, right?
Mhm.
Supportive of Tua, stayed for a second, and then transferred, and then took control and was like a leader on that team at Oklahoma.
In such a short time too, which
Yeah,
is hard to
such a
do.
Short time.
And-
There were a couple things to where he would somebody would post for him working out right after the game, and which I thought was funny, laughed at the time. But no, he's done it. I feel like
You gotta
the
be happy
right
for him.
way.
You gotta be happy for AJ too, dude. Like it sucks. Like as a Tennessee Titan and as a fan watching, that shit sucked yesterday. But AJ, like being a player in the NFL, you want everybody to get paid and have success, and it seems like AJ, it all worked out for him that way.
Oh,
You wish he was with the Titans. I mean, you do. And everyone's probably coming at John's head right now. Hindsight's 2020. There's 3 sides to every story: AJ's side, John's side, and then the truth. Because AJ's, he probably was asking for a lot more. They weren't willing to give what the Eagles were giving. Whatever it was, it sucks. And we all wish he was in the
We'll
Tuchel and
get
blue.
AJ on one day.
You think so?
Yeah, I do.
All right. I hope so.
I do. I think he'll come on, especially now.
Yeah.
Especially now.
Yeah. He's a fucking stud, man.
I
He
shot
really
him. I
is.
shot him just the eyes yesterday.
He responded to you?
Yesterday morning, it was like 9 a.m. I just shot him the eyes, and he just responded, "It's up today, family." And that was it. That was it. I
Damn.
just chuckled. I was like, "Man, I wonder what's gonna happen today." And then it fucking happened.
That second,
yeah,
after
it
that
was-
touchdown, not the one that got called back, his second touchdown that he had, that ball was perfectly placed.
Yeah.
AJ did not think he was getting the ball in that play. He just kind of looked up and there it was. And it was insane.
Yeah, bro.
He's
a hell of a player.
a
They
hell
got
of a
good
player.
squad.
They got a
And
good
not
squad.
only that, the Philly Christmas album. I know that pains.
Buddy, that fucking hurts me so bad.
So 2 years ago, Taylor had an idea for Bussin to do a Christmas album. He was like, this when the Barstool Fund was big, and he's like, hey, we should do a Christmas album. All funds go to the Barstool Fund. And we should have artists and people that's pretty much been on the pod. We just do a Christmas album, sing our favorite
It was
songs.
no. It was get people around the league to do it.
Right.
It was get players around the league
Yep.
to do it that have either been on, or like you get a Rogers, or I think I've brought up Devontae Adams. Like get a bunch of guys and do a Christmas album, and then all of it goes to the Barstool Fund.
Yeah, and that was a couple years ago. That was you were traveling back and forth to Arizona. At the end of the day, I dropped the ball. And I say I because I was like, yo, yeah, we can get this done. But there's so many logistics to getting it
Yeah.
done. However, now that the Philly Christmas album dropped,
It's dropping December
we
23rd.
put that in our chat. Like,
I'm gonna
oh,
fucking buy that
no.
too. It's good. That guy. Do
They
you see that
crushed it.
fucking? Who's a yes? I say, aye. Dude, he hits that
Crushed
thing.
it.
Crushed it.
I mean, they
Bro,
did it right,
makes
man.
it makes me sick. Like, I feel like the dude that had the idea for the internet, and then the internet came out 2 years later. He's like, "Fuck, I could have done that," you know? Or that the
You should
Italian
execute
job.
it, man.
Yeah, fuck you, Will. You know what happened?
Everybody's got an idea. Yeah, I know. I know what you had the idea. You told me. I didn't execute it, so I'll take the blame.
Listen, dude, it just hurts it hurts me so bad. I'm super happy for those dudes. It seems like it's gonna be awesome.
Oh, they sell out. They're selling
They
out all
fucking
their
did a great
vinyls.
job. They
And that dude, who say his name again?
Jordan Mailata.
He was the one rocking the boy shirt, wasn't he?
Yeah, with his
You gotta love
my
that.
cause, my cleats. I know. I went on the Eagles fucking comments, and everyone was like, "Where's this shirt?" I was like, "Hey, it's in our bio.
Yeah.
Go get that thing."
Click the bio. Click the bio. Click the bio.
Dude, that fucking I'm there. That thing's gonna be a huge success. I'm stoked for them. It's gonna be amazing.
City like Philly behind you.
I know, dude. Philly's a crazy fan town. A fucking crazy fan town. Like if you're successful in Philly, you're a god. But man, I bet you they turn on you so fast. On a fucking dime. On a dime. Speaking of turning on a dime, dude. What's going on with your 10? Do you want to talk about your 10, or you kind of want to?
At this point, so like 2 weeks have went by. It's almost like at the end of the day, here's where it's at.
Your 10 happened.
Yeah, I mean, I would like it all. Everything. What have I said on the podcast, or what have I said public? Because there's been so many conversations. I don't want to be redundant. Here's what happened in a nutshell. We got to, and the reason I get a little like iffy talking about it, because I'm kind of like, who gives a fuck anymore? Not on like not playing. Like I'm still trying to play. Like I'll still play.
Yeah.
I was just asked to be radio silent, but it's like, ooh, you know, at this point it's gone so far. Like I want to just. That's the entire point of like doing all the stuff we do, to let people peek behind the curtain. And if there's any player out there, at the end of the day, like playing 9 years, and if we can put guys on game by just giving them a peek behind the curtain by talking about all this stuff openly, then that's a win in itself too. Because I could say nothing could happen. And then everybody's like, well, what ended up happening with that whole ordeal? Ultimately, I was in Atlanta. We had the contract ready to go. Both parties had the amendment and a side contract in place that fully separated me from the gambling and the content stuff that I was doing. Now, two things with that. Going into it, of course, we assumed the risk. Like we even talked about it before the season. Like, hey, what if you do play this year or something like that? It's kind of like, well, I don't think.
Oh, what if you play?
What if you do play? Like doing like standing up the gambling show, yada yada yada. It's like, well, realistically, it doesn't seem like I will get a call to play year 10 because the case race, you're doing all this stuff. I'm out there loud, all this stuff with Barstool.
You're a GM's nightmare.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. For what are we doing? A 33-year-old practice squad player is what I was about to sign with the Atlanta Falcons at first. So going into it, it's like, I'm going to fully lean into the content and everything else that I have going on off the field, A, because I enjoy it. And it's like, B, like, if a team happens to call me toward the end of the year, like I will stay in some sort of shape to go do a workout and basically check the boxes that we've been checking. And you just assume the risk. Like I'm probably playing myself out, even if I stand up to spit the bus. But who cares? This is the route I'm going. Like the transition beyond football is going to pay me more than being in football. And I really fucking enjoy it. So, and then on the NFL side, because they're about to come into this, because they put a halt to it and said, hey, this agreement is far off. Like you would be in direct violation. This will not work for us, yada, yada, yada. This at first was telephone, hearsay, all that stuff. And on the NFL.
Who's saying that to you?
This is when we turned it in. Hey, we'll be good to go here in about 15, 20 minutes.
Who's we? So you and the Atlanta Falcons turned it into the NFL.
Yes.
So New York called you and said.
Correct. The NFL, the league office talks to the Falcons and basically says, this isn't going to work. This is very far off. Will would need to do, and this wasn't in writing, so this is all hearsay. But at that point in time, it was seen to be I would have to terminate all agreements with Barstool. I would have to divest and pay back compensation that I've received thus far off the field. And I would have to delete all of my content that is out there that pertains to gambling. And then I could sign, me and Barstool would then sign an agreement with the NFL complying that I will not be breaking the rules and violations while I'm calling it the year 10 period.
Yeah.
When that's hearsay, of course, that's like, that's unreasonable as fuck.
Yeah, extremely.
But from the NFL standpoint, this is such a random, weird, unique situation that, of course, you're going to default to the number one priority is protect the shield.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, here's a gambling case. Like, we're not going to this is not about to go under our nose and us not say anything about it. So, of course, whether or not it's an overreaction, when that happened, it put everything on pause to where it's like, okay, it seems like this isn't going to get sorted out within the next 24 hours. So I drive back home, make Thanksgiving and all that stuff.
Yeah, which was awesome.
So all the unreasonable asks, like all the hearsay on the phone, we're wanting that in writing because now I feel as if this is an irrational ask to pay back compensation or to do things. At the end of the day, I'll bend any which way to play legally, to play football, but it's not like I need to. We've been doing the podcast for 3 years now and I've played in the league. Again, I understand the gambling issue. So we wanted it in writing so then we could go to the NFLPA because we thought the NFLPA could help us or help me out a little bit. Did the whole thing, the cry out thing on the NFLPA, that was kind of like another week. All that goes by, it's holiday weekend. It gets back to
hold on. Before you talk about your tweet and everything you did, how did the NFLPA respond to you before?
They weren't not the most helpful. They were not the most helpful. We were working with the lawyer from the NFLPA, and essentially he was like, let me see your individual agreement. Okay, yeah, that would have to be terminated. Fair. At this point, we had already talked to Barstool. Barstool's willing to do whatever possible. They're like, hey, yeah, we'll terminate this. We're like, whatever you need to do, we want to support you playing football if you want to play football. And so he's like, yeah, you're going to have to terminate that. And then the Bussin thing, we're trying to ask questions, right? And these are like, we're getting it. This is in text messaging. It seems like Will needs to delete all agreements with Barstool. And we're like, Bussin with the boys, ? Yeah, everything. It seems like he shouldn't be working with Barstool while playing in the league. And it's like, okay, that's the irrational part. Why? What is the reason?
The PA saying that now.
Yeah, this is the PA at this point. Yeah. We're like, why? What is the reasoning? Like, because we need something that shows why it wouldn't happen. There's a dozen players at least now that have podcasts while playing in the NFL.
Yeah.
Sponsored by production companies who sell their ads, who do everything. There's Patrick Peterson, I think is with CBS Sports. You got New Heights, they're with Jukes. Who knows who owns them? Like, you have so many different things going on that players are doing in the league now. It's like, why do I have to terminate the Bussin agreement, and which brings you involved? So now there's multiple parties that they're wanting to see agreement. So then you got to go down another rabbit hole on like, hey, we need to get permission on your end. Your agency has to do their due diligence because you're their client and you are their number one priority. Doesn't matter what I'm doing. It matters what, hey, how could this, we're looping Taylor in now. Like we went down so many paths and dead ends that from my seat, I felt like the PA wasn't helping me out the way that they should be.
Right.
More of like, hey, can we get actual effort and urgency to look at all of this fine print so you can at least tell me reasoning why I need to terminate all of these things? I understand the gambling. I don't understand why you're just saying you can't work with, it seems like they want you working with Barstool. It's just like, well, that's obvious. Like, oh, you don't want, it's the Barstool thing now. So you're just wanting things back and forth. Bro, there were so many obnoxious, I know I've talked to you, I've updated you. I feel like as much a problem, maybe there's some that I haven't, because at this point, there's so many redundant conversations happening. Right. You go down all these roads and you just come to a dead end. And ultimately, people just get to where they kind of, the CYA, cover your ass sentiment, to where it's like, hey, we think this is good, but we can't tell you that nothing won't happen. Which is like, that's not solid enough for me to hear. Like, what does that mean? Right. It's like, if the NFL just wakes up one day on the wrong side of the bed and they want to make a deal about this, could they potentially, maybe somewhere in this language? Yeah. So you don't know. It got so frustrating to where it's like, we have a Bussin agent, I have an NFL agent, a Bussin agent. The Falcons were involved. The Falcons are kind of like, hey, as long as you get all your ducks in order and we can make this thing happen, we're still down. Like, we're supportive. We get all the shit you got going on. Then you kind of laugh and make a joke. This is hilarious, all for a 33-year-old practice squad player. Mm-hmm. But it's like they were in it initially. Then it was like the PA, both of my agents. Who else? My agent. Yeah. Your agency ended up getting involved. There were so many dead end conversations to where the Bussin agent, he was just like, hey, like, do you want me to just call the NFL directly? Because he's like, there's a contact that I can get to where we know who the person is from the league office, the contact. So he calls the NFL directly and they have a conversation going back and forth to where it's like, hey, you don't need to see all the contract agreements that Will has going on off the field. All you need to know is that we will sign whatever necessary and terminate to do whatever makes him legal. There's no need to see all the contract There's no need to see all the writing language with multiple parties involved, because there's multiple people involved. Like, it's not just Will. There's other factors. There's Barstool. There's you. There's just so many other factors. You don't need to see that stuff. Like, it's kind of like a none of your business or need to know. We'll give you what you need to know on a need to know basis type of thing. So they went back and forth on figuring out solutions that could happen. Now, as we sit here today on Monday, over the weekend, Bussin agent gets off the phone with the NFL. Bussin agent talks with Barstool, goes up that ladder, because there's obviously more involved than just Barstool. Like, it's Barstool and then it's Penn National Gaming. So there's intricacies in the contract that involves both of them. So Barstool can be good, but then they have to go up the ladder with Penn on making sure that this is all viable, because I'm willing to like terminate certain agreements, divesting certain compensation to play and be eligible for year 10. And once that letter gets reviewed and checkmarked by Penn, we now hold the letter again. We give it to the league as a draft up to make sure the league thinks it's compliant with the league rules. Then we take the draft back. Then we pick up the phone. Hey, Falcons, are we still trying to make this happen? If the answer is yes, we then take the draft, execute it as a final document, give it to all parties involved, and then I can sign, and then I sign, and year 10 is activated. But that is... I say nutshell. That was a little long-winded there. Yeah. But overall, that's the webbing of this entire situation. And again, nobody's fault. The risk was assumed. The NFL is just seeing something come across their desk. It's, you protect, like, hey, there's too much going on here. Like, it's easy to just go ahead and say these two things side by side. Obviously, Will's not going to terminate all these things to just play football, because that would make sense for him personally. But it's like, hey, we have all of our ducks in a row to where we would do all of this stuff and jump over all these hurdles so that year 10 is a possibility. Yeah. I think it really... You feel like I explained it well? I think you did an incredible job at that. You really know. You guys feel like you guys are caught up? Okay. I know once I started to go, I was like, I might as well just try and connect all the dots.
It's hard to explain something when you don't know what you can and cannot say.
Right.
Like you said, you're playing in a gray area, but you did a good job of being very clear about everything you said.
And I don't want to make it seem like it's anybody's fault. Because I was kind of saying that the PA should have helped me out more. Then I take to social media because I'm getting told, by the way, I'm saying all this, and I was like, hey, you should probably remain quiet until all this stuff can get figured out. So I'm just fuck it type of thing. Like, let's just talk about it.
Well, yeah, because when you sent that tweet out,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I was kind of like,
much faster.
Yes. I was like, hey, I'm gonna take to social media because the strength, like, we need strength in numbers, and social media, like,
the boys ride.
No matter how you think about it, the boys ride. Like, it got out there. There's so many people from the PA, and that's where it's like, I hate saying I wish they would have supported me more, because you say they're all paintbrushed as one thing, but there are a lot of like awesome people that work for the PA, and they're all reaching out to me to where if I'm sitting there and had my address book out to where it's like all these people could help me, those are the ones reaching out, figuring it out. And the same lawyers, it went from one lawyer to 3 lawyers were involved. It was like the number one priority. It felt like it anyway. I guess that's all that matters, is I felt like I was being a priority in that situation.
Yeah.
But they're getting it figured out. We got more figured out in 2 hours and by the next morning than we had in a few days, like a weekend and a Monday. Like, we got more figured out from that fucking tweet.
Now, you know how I feel with the NFLPA. I'm not a huge fan of the PA. I've had my quarrels with them and their issues, but playing devil's advocate on everything, I think the issue that everyone's running into is gambling is so new in the world of NFL and what's allowed, what's not allowed. The NFL has a specific thing with, is it FanDuel? They're like sponsored by FanDuel. FanDuel is the official sponsor of the NFL. Oh, yeah. So like the NFL is fully involved in gambling now, but the players cannot gamble, which is completely understandable. However,
that's hypocrisy at its highest level.
I know, but it's also
without
players.
It's just a different game. That's a different conversation.
Joe Jackson is your easiest one to go. You should not be able to gamble on the sport you play. There's inside information, insider trading. You should not be able to do that if you're not playing. Now, when you're signed and you say, okay, I'm not going to gamble, then I think you're more than okay. I think the issue that the NFLPA is running to, and I might be just throwing stones and hoping throwing something at a wall and hoping it sticks, is the collective bargaining agreement happened in what, 2020?
2018.
2018. So in 2018, gambling was not legal nationwide or in a certain amount of states and stuff like that. Neither was like the marijuana thing wasn't figured out. So when it comes to marijuana and gambling, because it has not been collective bargained, it leaves a lot of gray area for the NFL and the NFLPA. The NFLPA doesn't know what leg they have to stand on when it comes to, hey, we need to get this player who has gambled in the NFL. And the NFL doesn't know whether or not they're like, do we make an example of this guy like we did Calvin Ridley?
Right.
Or do we let it go? Like, how strong is our stance on gambling right now? So I think you're getting caught in a crosswinds. Being a trailblazer in this type of situation, you're kind of a man alone with 2 teams. One's your enemy, one's not your enemy. Like, you're kind of like, everyone could be friends, but everyone's still keeping their cards close to their vest right now.
Right, because no one knows what the other people sitting around the table are thinking as well.
Because some guys could go and gamble. I know guys in the NFL that gamble, not on NFL, but they gamble all over the place, which is perfectly fine and legal. But there is that, like, that you have had bet the bus where you bet on NFL teams, or you say, hey, I would take the Titans over this team and stuff like that. And that's technically not allowed. But if you stop doing it, and he signed a contract saying, hey, like, I'm not getting compensated for anything regarding betting, then what's the issue here? You know?
Exactly. Like, the frustrating thing for me is, like, you're trying to understand all those things while, like, hearing conversations and getting triggered, because you're like, so I'm getting penalized when what I was doing was completely legal at the time. Like, I'm not an active player in the league, so I might not ever get that call. So I'm basically in another career. I'm in another job. Now I'm wanting to play. I'll sign and do whatever necessary. It just seems like this is the longest conversation, and these are just the most hoops to jump through just to basically get to, hey, we kind of don't know what's happening here. Yeah,
you guys are all pointing guns at each other right now.
Yeah,
it's a tough situation. I hope it all gets figured out, and I hope the NFLPA takes a stance with you and fights for you a little bit. Now, I think they're in a very tricky situation, so it's very hard for them to say, okay, we're going to fight for Will Compton. Like you said, when they're looking at, from a priority standpoint, this is not like a massive contract thing. This is a 33-year-old practice squad player. And I'm just doubling down the jokes you said. I know you don't. But I don't want people listening being like, damn, Taylor's got to go out Will. It's like,
there's times where you got to zoom out and see it that way.
Yeah.
But the zooming out part and knowing that my side is, hey, we'll do whatever it takes. Like, yeah, does it sound like it's common sense to terminate this contract that you're looking at for this amount of money I would be making on practice squad and potentially for a few weeks in the NFL? It's like, no, but you don't need to worry about what decision I might be making. Just know that we're willing to bend any which way to make it happen.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, like when I was on the phone with somebody from the PA, he's like, well, I'm going to be honest. Like, I want to personally apologize to you because I actually saw this situation last week. And he goes, and I just thought to my head, oh, there's no way Will's going to do that to play.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like, now talking with you and hearing all the context, obviously, like, he's like, I'm sorry, I'll get on this right now. It wasn't like he was the direct contact I needed. He just called up right away. And Don Davis, it's Don Davis. Shout out Don Davis. No free shout outs to the boy. But he's like, bro, dude, I apologize. Like, we'll get everything on this. I had no clue that it was this much of an ordeal until, I'm getting texts saying that you posted this, I'm seeing that. And he's like, look, you guys are killing it, by the way. That's neither here nor there. But it started to get figured out. The ball started to go fast. Like, that's when it started to work, when I took to social media versus, hey, radio silence. Because it's just, dude, lawyers get involved, the suits get involved. There's such a negotiating tactic.
Suits can be an issue sometimes.
Yeah, and there can be issues. But anyway, that is the fucking year 10 update, boys.
That's a lot.
And the whole thing was this. I know we can transition and we got to get to Pac-Man as well. But what sucked that it's taken so long is, like, I would have been on the goal was I would be on P squad, get acclimated for a week, then you get active.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're at a point to where, as I'm talking right now, the Falcons are now on a bye week. So now there's a bye week in place, and then it's like there's only 4 weeks left. You'd
have to get on practice. You'd have to get on practice squad next week, get acclimated for that week, and then be active for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah,
to get a credited season.
The goal to get a 10th year credited is 3 NFL games. It's like I would have to call up Arthur. Hey, brother, be honest with me. What are we thinking?
Right. And Arthur's that dude.
Right.
Arthur would have a candid conversation with you for sure.
Yeah.
I know. Do you have? If you were to get a credited season this year, would you have 10 credited seasons or would you have 9 credited seasons?
I believe 10 credited seasons. Oh, no. I know 10 credited seasons, 9 accrued seasons.
What does accrued mean?
So accrued means, like, what is it, 7 or 8 games you got to play to get an accrued season? That's toward free agency.
Okay. Your rookie year, were you on practice squad or you on 53?
But your practice squad season gets counted as a credited season the moment you get vested. So the moment I went, year 1, practice squad, not credited. Year 2, 3, and 4, I was on the team, all credited. Once year 5 started and I got those 3 games to get a credited 5th year, now that I'm vested, that practice squad year now becomes credited because I got vested.
You did a great job explaining that, and your hand gestures were incredible too.
Oh, thank you.
That was really nice.
I was really big because I was explaining it to JP on holding. I was like, here's the draft of the document. Now we give it to so-and-so. Now we're holding it again. Now we call Atlanta. Hey, are we doing this? Okay, cool. Now we execute the agreement and everything's in place.
That was an incredible story. I'm glad you caught everybody up. People are really anxious to hear that. But we have 15 minutes till Pac-Man. I'm sure it's like 13 minutes now. We have 10 minutes to do shout out, no free shout out. Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt this podcast to bring you another ad read, and that is Whistle Pig Whiskey. Our Bussin whiskey is now out. Jack McPherson is ripping around the corner, getting this whiskey for us. It is delicious. It tastes great. It gives you a little bit of nerves when you first put it in your mouth, and all of a sudden the thing pops in. Then all of a sudden you put it down your throat, and my God, what a warming sensation. The perfect thing to have in these colder months is our Bussin Whistle Pig whiskey. We are so lucky and fortunate to be with Whistle Pig. Such an outstanding product, such outstanding people, and this thing goes great with anything. This thing goes good on the rocks. Make yourself a nice little drink, a little cocktail, if you will.
I prefer neat.
He prefers neat.
I'm a neat guy.
He's a neat guy, dude. He doesn't need all the fluff of anything, dude. He's going to take a little swig and enjoy it. If you click the link in the YouTube description, you can buy this now. It ships to only a certain amount of states, but if you know a buddy, see a friend, help a friend, go to a state that does ship, you ship it to them, they ship it to you. People helping people. It's powerful stuff. Take a little sip.
That is your...
That is my
your
thing.
number 1 quote of all time.
Yeah,
But
it was big hugs, tiny kisses.
Also, it's in every retailer that carries Whistle Pig. So if you call the retailer, your local retailer, and say, "Hey, do you guys carry Whistle Pig?" If the answer is yes, they're carrying our bourbon. I'm gonna just go ahead and take a sip.
Take a sip. May I?
And I'll let people know what you're about to taste. You're gonna taste a little heat up front, and the minute it goes to your throat, it is, again, I have explained this before, it is like a hammock sitting in the backyard. It's smooth going down your throat. And right about Now it should warmly be sitting on the top of your stomach.
And it is.
It's very smooth. Again, a little heat up front, and it's very smooth going down. But this bourbon is awesome. Get it anywhere. Click the link in the YouTube description below and buy it now.
Back to the episode. All right, boys, it's time for the greatest segment you've ever heard in your entire life. Shout out of the week, our favorite police officer and man of the people, Bussin. You are up first.
My shout out this week, I kind of came up, it was supposed to be right after Thanksgiving, but unfortunately I had to shout out the 49ers.
Oh my God. Who you shouting out? The third string QB?
Oh, Brock Purdy, he tore it up. He saved us. Might lead us to a Super Bowl. But my shout out this week, it kind of happened over Thanksgiving. I went over to a friend's house. They asked me to get something out of the refrigerator. I went to the refrigerator. He's like, no, not that one. The one in the garage. And I was like, oh, the one in the garage. And it brought me back to my childhood of when I'd go to friends' houses and they had the garage refrigerator. Anytime you'd open that thing, that's where all the best snacks were. That's where all the good soda was. And then there was the cases of beer in there. So my shout out, no free shout out, goes to the garage fridge.
That's a solid
good one.
Oh, yeah, that's a solid one. Gamecocks #1 fan, Jack McPherson, was sick, now better. Positive attitude, buddy. Let's see what you got.
What's wrong, Jack? Is something wrong, brother?
He said Gamecocks #1 fan.
I know, but just
that.
your body.
You're in the head. I'm just going off of what I see on you.
I'm coming off a tough week, but no, I'm good. Yeah, I was sick, so obviously my shout out is going to revolve around that. But it's not necessarily when you're sick. It's just whenever maybe it's a little chilly in the room, you need a little bit extra comfortability. When there's that perfect blanket in the corner of the living room and you're like hanging out on the couch, grabbing that blanket, getting nice and cozy, snuggling up for a bit. Shout out to the blanket, being comfortable.
It's that moment too when you catch the blanket, just laying over there. You're just
Especially
like,
when it's like,
yo, am I about to physically put energy into getting up and going to grab it?
it's
And
even
you
better when
make the
it's like
decision?
an arm's length. Like,
Yeah.
just like a little,
Yeah.
grab it.
Absolutely. That was good, Jack. For all the adversity you've been through, that was good to
Boy had
work
the flu
through
last
that.
week.
I know he did. I know. I checked on him a couple times. Mitchie, baby, what you got?
So this one, I don't know how you guys will feel about it. It's not the best, I don't think. But
Oh, listen, let's start over.
Ooh,
okay,
yeah.
start
my
over.
shout out, no free
Mitchie,
shout
what
out.
you got, buddy?
My
Your
shout out, no
shout-out,
free
brother.
shout out this week. It's not something that happens all the time, but say you're like out walking with a bunch of friends and like you're walking through a patch of grass or something, and where there might be dog shit. Say you're walking, next thing you know, like a couple minutes later down the road while you're walking, you're like, damn it smells like shit. Like, what is that? I was that person that stepped in that shit, but my shout out, no free shout out, goes to that when you're not that person, and then you can rag on the dude that did step in this shit. You stepped in dog shit, you smell like shit, your shoes are dirty. And just being able to rag on that person when like it's embarrassing, like after you do step in it and you're like, fuck.
What do you
It
got,
is-
Garrett?
Damn, that's wild.
You set it up. Well,
You
the minute
said
you
you
said
did.
it, I was like, no matter what said, I got a fucking joke on him.
All right, so mine, it's been a long time since I've done this one, but I like to shout out the guy that spent $6,000 in the merch store on Black Friday.
Oh,
Patrick Ryan.
Ooh.
Thank you. And we'll get you on the bus here soon.
that's
It is
outstanding.
big time.
What a stud.
What a stud, bro.
And wait till Garrett tells you some new details about him later.
Beauty.
Stay tuned.
Wow, I can't wait. What's his name? Patrick Ryan. Shout out, Patrick. All right, JP.
My shout out.
Oh,
Ooh.
start over. What you got, JP?
My shout out. My shout out, no free shout out.
Oh,
Of the week. When you're traveling, your room can get a little messy. Your room gets messy and you start kind of like throwing your clothes around, but there's always one spot where you keep some clothes. You're like, maybe I'll wear this tomorrow. So my shout out, no free shout out, goes to that chair in your room that you put all your clothes on that you're being too lazy about, that you might put on the next day.
That's a hitter.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Oh, I don't know mine right now.
Yeah, I was actually trying to think of mine too, but
Dog,
Jax did rattle my brain a little bit, so I'll hit it.
go ahead.
All right, so I love the shout out, no free shout out Jack had about seeing that blanket, get a little extra comfort. But I love when you walk into a room that you're going to sleep in, and it's freezing in there. You grab those blankets and you put them on you, and you're legit cold. Like I'm actually like, oh, I wasn't this cold a second ago. I just put the blankets on me, and now I'm shivering. And my shout out goes to that transition time between super cold and perfectly comfortable. There's nothing better than getting cocooned in there. Your face is a little cold. I like to take my feet out too of the blanket. I like to have my feet out there so I can just stay aware. And when that cocoon kind of warms up, your body heat kind of takes it all in, and you're now insulated. What a feeling that is.
That's a good one.
Thanks, buddy.
God
damn, Will.
My shout out, no free shout out, goes to
The Michigan Wolverines.
fireplaces.
Elaborate.
Now that we've decorated the house for Christmas and we're in the spirit, that would be a good conversation too, by the way. But our 10-footer lit up beautifully. You have the Christmas lights, the garland going up the side. Like you just have the scene. We even moved furniture around a little bit, resituated it. You saw it.
Yeah, it looks great.
And it's just cozy. And then when it's that time of year to where you turn on the fireplace and you get that fire going, the scene, it's hard to beat that scene. Like there are a lot of people who hate that it gets dark early around like 5 o'clock at night, at 5 o'clock in the day, now 4:30. But I enjoy it just because we get that scene longer at night, whether we're watching a movie, watching Netflix, but when that fire's cracking and then you got the Christmas lights up, like I really do enjoy it.
And
My shout out, no for shout out, goes specifically to fireplaces.
to take it just a step further, when it's all dark outside and you turn all the lights off and the only light is the fireplace, and you look over and you see your significant other and they're just glowing from the fireplace.
Yeah.
What a feeling.
Like, hey,
What a feeling.
and you think what everybody thinks, do we want to get up down on the floor right now and
Yeah,
fuck right in front of the
100%.
fireplace?
Right. Because why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Batman did it.
Yeah.
So he did do it, didn't he?
I feel like
Whore.
that's probably a universal. What's up? Gas. Just turn that. We just turn that button on. Yeah, probably no crackling. When I said that, I was like, does it crackle?
I'll tell you what, that's tough, but what's even more tough is Will doesn't have a real tree.
What?
Yeah.
He said 10-footer. I
Yeah.
walked up to that thing and I just, nothing.
Here's what I saw. I saw JP. That's an L. That's an L. I told
I'm
you.
glad
this, too.
that's all you had to say.
It's an L I'm willing to bear because basically I'm lazy. I think the concept, we always got a real tree growing up. We always had to go to the tree park. Yeah. We always had to go to the tree park.
What you doing with that?
You're good.
You grew up
We
going
would
to the
always
tree
go to
park.
the tree park. My dad would cut one down. We'd always bring a real one in. And so there's no question that I'm really letting a lot of people down.
Your family.
Yeah, my family.
Yeah.
The worst part. But we have a fake tree. Like we're a fake tree family. Like no cleanup. I wish I had the smell of pine, but no cleanup. Like you take that down, you have it all year round. It just sits in the closet. Like it's an L I'm willing to take. It's an L I'm willing. I am
For
very
how long,
aware
though?
that it's an L.
For how long? Like
What do
you
you
gonna do
mean?
this? You gonna do this forever?
No, because Charlie and I sit there and talk. And we're like, yeah, we need whether we get that tradition going as Rue gets older, like to where we go to like a tree park and cut one down and stuff. The thing is, like, I don't want to cut a fucking tree down.
That's something you don't have to do. You go to a tree lot and you pick out a tree and you say, hey, when you deliver that? And they say, oh, we'll be there on the 30th. And you go, oh, perfect.
They
Come on.
deliver?
Yes. They will literally put it up for you and then take it down. All you have to do is sweep up the little pine needles.
See, I didn't know that. I thought I'm putting this motherfucker up. I thought I'm cutting it down. I'm putting it up. We got to do away with it. And I just remember every time I would have to pause my video game to get up and go help put the tree up, like go help set it in the thing. I'm all down for banging the ornaments and shit. And then when Christmas is over and like you're playing that new video game and you got to pause because we're like, hey, we're putting the tree out. We're setting the tree outside by the road. You're like, fuck. So
You got to do that.
that's one fake tree.
You ain't gotta do that.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing.
My man's past traumas are coming up to haunt him.
Yeah.
Will, I'm gonna give you a little tip with the fake tree. You know the little broomsticks at like a Walgreens or something that's scented? You know what I'm talking about?
I don't think so.
I'll get you
Put
one.
me on game, brother.
I'll get you one.
What does it do?
Just get a real tree,
It's
dude.
just the scent that'll like back up not having a real tree.
Have you guys seen the new movie Spirited? Is it Spirited? It's good. I liked it.
What is it? What
Will
is it?
Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds. It's like a musical movie.
I liked it too.
Oh, you did like it. Okay, good.
But I'm not a musical guy. I thought
I'm not either.
I thought the singing was a little like, all right, like fucking.
I kind of liked it. I liked it. The choreographed dances and all that. I watched Hairspray
Yeah.
on the way home from Arizona yesterday.
That's funny. See, I'd never watched.
Song and dance guy. I guess I am. I do like musicals.
I would never was a musical guy. Do we need to get ready for this? We got 5 minutes. Go ahead, Blossy. We are now probably about to read an ad read, and then we will jump into the Pac-Man Jones the Pac-Man Jones interview, where we talk to him about Rough and Rowdy coming up this weekend. We interrupt this episode to ask you guys one simple question: do you want a better sex life? If so, you're not alone. Up to 50% of men have symptoms that get in the way of wanting to enjoy and have a good time having sex. But Roman is here to help the boys. Roman is the digital health clinic for men. Roman addresses a variety of sexual health needs for men. Roman offers genuine medication and helps achieve and maintain a long-lasting erection. They have these Roman swipes. They're discreet wipes that help you last 4 times longer in bed. At Roman, there are no waiting rooms, no hassle. It's just a straightforward digital experience from the comfort of your own home. Everything arrives in discreet packaging with free 2-day shipping. I'm about to tell you where you need to go to get Roman. To learn more about how you can achieve your personal sexual health goals, go to ro.co/Bussin Boys. Again, that is ro.co/Bussin Boys. You're going to get 20% off your entire first order. Shop Roman, shop the boys. Back to the episode.
Yeah, what's up?
What's going on? Hey, I'll tell you what, Pac. First impression seeing you, your dreads look phenomenal, buddy.
Thank you, brother.
Hey, Pac, why don't you have a fat lip in right now?
It was on the way.
It was on the way.
We got the lip on the way, dude. That's what we need.
That's outstanding.
Gotta have a lip. Yeah.
Bro, we got to, I know we're going to do a fun little 15-minute deal right here, but we got to get you on the bus for real.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm with it, bro. Let's do it.
Because not only are you fighting this weekend in Rough and Rowdy, which we'll talk about, but you also co-host with I Am Athlete. So I feel like that collab just has to happen. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be right if it didn't.
Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
I'm with it. Where y'all located?
Nashville.
Oh, shit. I was just fucking there.
When?
Last night. I drove back. I got back at 4 a.m. this fucking morning.
No.
Yeah. I had a big signing. We had a big signing in Nashville. Me, VY, and Lindell, and Chris Johnson.
Yo, you think Chris and Lindell would tell us?
Right. Like they were just on.
They were just on the podcast.
For real?
Yeah. Were you wearing that Bengals hat when you were in Nashville?
No, I didn't have the Bengals hat on, but I was rooting for the Bengals.
You were rooting for the Bengals?
And
that's hard to hear, buddy. That's hard to hear because I got 2 Titan fans in the back that do production for us, and they were just giving you massive flowers. Returning, being a stud. Low-key called you a legend.
Yeah, for Tennessee.
I appreciate it. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. But
let's get into this fight, man. So 0-1 going into Rough and Rowdy. You're fighting the same guy you did last time. How do you feel about?
I'm not fucking 0-1. I'm 1-0. They just didn't let me. I just didn't win on in their opinion. In my opinion, I won.
You won. Take us through that fight, and why would they give you the L when you think you deserve the W? Like, why do you think it went the other way with the judges?
I just think he knew a little bit more tactics than I did. You know what I mean? Being the champ, he had obviously a lot more experience than I have. The ring was a lot smaller than I thought it would be. So it's a lot of things that I know now that I didn't know the first fight. So shout out to Bobby, man. As a person, Bobby is cool, but I'm gonna whoop his ass come Friday night.
See, I caught that first fight. Like, I would say he won the fight, but only because, like you just said it, like the size of the ring, like he just kept you on the ropes all the time to where you couldn't really have any distance, create any distance and swing on him. He kind of just leaned on you and won by points, I guess. And they're 3 1-minute rounds. Like, are you still doing 1-minute rounds this week? Are they going to be longer, or is it going to be the same setup?
1-minute rounds. 1-minute rounds again. But this is going to be a brawl. This is not going to be that shit what it was last time. Somebody's going to get hit a lot. And I don't think it's going to be me.
Are you bringing the culture out? Like, you guys were out there. They were loud last time. Do we have more people? Are we going to get some more Pac-Man Jones fans in the building?
Man, you know how we travel. I don't know how Bobby travel, but man, my cast, we don't mind getting on the road. So we'll be up in Boomfuck too, deep. You know what I'm saying? With a big lip in, with some of that Pac-Man smoking. We're gonna be in the building.
That's incredible. You say there's a lot of things he knew that you didn't know. What's your game plan going into this fight right now? A little bit of distance?
Win by any means necessary.
With 3 1-minute rounds, you got to do a lot of damage quick. You calling a knockout?
Ain't no win by distance. Ain't no distance.
You got to get up in there. Because the way Will explained it to me is he had you up against the ropes quite a bit.
But it's because he's leaning into him.
He's leaning into him.
He's not swinging and hitting him in the body. Like he just didn't have any separation where he's literally like head down, kind of like leaning into his body, and just the ref would have to break it up. By the time you break it up 2 or 3 times, the round's fucking over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's the champ, so he was going to win by points.
But guess what? I got something for that shit this time.
I can't wait.
Can you tell us any kind of secret, like what that might be? What that
fucking boxing match? I'll tell you that. We're gonna be fighting like we in the back, like I'm coming out the projects or somewhere. It ain't all that boxing shit is out the window. We got a fucking minute. I gotta go whoop his ass convincingly every round for a minute.
What makes you want to get back in the ring? Like, what makes you want to box and get in the ring, especially like when you're doing stuff off the field, like you're already doing?
You know, that's just that edge, that fire in me. And this will be, when I get to do the celebrity boxing, this be my time where I can, you know, undo the seatbelt and be Pac-Man instead of being Adam every day. So it's good for me because it take a little edge off, you know, and I get to do something that I really enjoy doing. I only been doing this damn near a year now, so I'm just getting better every week. Like, I think I'm better if the rounds was longer, because I'm pretty smart as far as going back, dissecting what the coaches is saying and doing it. It's hard to do it in a minute, but I'm eager, man. I'm ready.
I think it's going to be an outstanding fight. How did you get into this situation where you're doing Rough and Rowdy? Like, how was this presented? Was this presented to you, or did someone come to you and say, "Hey, we need you"?
So I seen them fight, and me and Deion is like my dad. Y'all know that. He was like, "Hey, man, you want to fight? Why don't you fight on Rough and Rowdy?"
Hey, man, you want to fight?
He was like, "Barstool, you want to fight on Barstools?" I'm like, "Shit, yeah, I'll fight. I ain't turning down no fight." So I seen that Bobby was the champ. I actually called Pat McAfee at the time while he was on live air and told him that I would whoop his ass. And then that's how it all started.
You said you would whoop Bobby's ass or Pat's ass?
Bobby's.
Got you.
Yeah, because Bobby's the champ. I feel like he's just been the champ the whole time, hasn't he?
How many fights has he won?
8.
Yeah, 8 hillbilly fights, just fucking wrecking dudes out there. And now Pac-Man's trying to come.
Bobby a tough kid, though. Now, I ain't trying to take nothing away from Bobby, but I'm fucking tough. I'm real.
Yeah, I liked your Pac-Man Adam analogy. That fired me up a little bit. Like, I'll probably place an irresponsible wager on you come this weekend.
Yeah, because, you know, the seatbelt coming off this weekend. You know what I mean? I'm a father, uncle, husband, wife. Husband.
Whoa, now.
Oh, but yeah, man, so my life is different. You know, people think that I'm so rah-rah and loud and this and that, but that's the complete opposite of me as a person, really. Now, I do have my times, like I just said, when I take the seatbelt out, but it's a time and a place for everything.
Yeah. Dude, I'd love to have I cannot believe he was in Nashville.
I know, that breaks my heart.
Last week, Taylor and I were in New York, and they're like, "Hey, would you guys want to have Pac-Man come on?" And our first question is always, can they come on the bus? Like, is there any shot we can get him in Nashville? And they're like, probably not, because he's doing stuff and promoting and things.
They literally told us he's not traveling right now.
They
said he's not traveling right now. He's training.
And so we're all right, we'll do.
I had to go to Nashville because they was paying big money. So
the money was calling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Brandon Marshall taking care of you guys over at I Am Athlete?
He better.
Well, you're already like co-host the show. Has he already taken care of you?
Well, I'm up on the contract if that's what you're asking me.
You're up on contract with I Am Athlete?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm trying to figure out, what are you asking me? Are you asking me, is my contract up? Am I working on a new deal? What are you asking me?
Oh, I thought
Like,
you've been going.
we-
I thought you're consistently with I Am Athlete. I'm just saying, is Brandon Marshall taking care of you over there? And you said he better, and I'm thinking like, oh, shouldn't he have already taken care of you? I didn't know you're in the middle of a contract thing. Got you.
Oh, yeah, he's taking care of me.
Are you negotiating with other suitors, other brands? Would you?
I'm always open. Like, I can't sit here and tell you that I'm not open. If it makes sense and it fits my character of me and what I like, yeah, I'm open. But the reason why I do like I'm Athlete, because I can be myself. I don't have to switch it up, change. I might not say everything the right, correct ESPN way, but everything I say got fucking facts about it. When I fucking said last week that fucking Patrick Mahomes can't read fucking defense, I meant it. When I said last week that fucking Joe Burrow is a better quarterback than Patrick Mahomes, I meant it. When I said last week that fucking what's the coach over there?
Zach Taylor?
No, what's the head coach for the Chiefs?
Reed.
I'm having
Andy Reid.
Reid. When I said Andy Reid is, to me, number one or number two coordinator, as long as I've seen the game, I mean that. I don't think Patrick Mahomes, if he'd have been with any other coach right now, would be having the success that he's having with them. And the reason why I say that, because all you got to do is watch. All you got to do is watch. If you play coverage and don't let him escape the pocket and make him step up in the pocket to throw the ball 90% of the time, he's not the same guy. Now, if you let him break the pocket, get on the run, he can throw that motherfucker from here to Ohio. I mean, from Ohio to Nashville.
He can throw the rock for sure. You said Andy Reid's one of your top coordinators / head coaches. Who is the number one head coach in the league, in your opinion?
Well, I was saying offensive coordinator when I say.
Oh, okay.
But if I don't know, head coach is hard to pick, you know. It's all about the relationship that he had with the guys. Me personally, Jeff Fisher and Coach Lewis was my favorite.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of biased with Fish, because Fish, that's my man. Like, we might not talk every day, but like, he did a lot of stuff for me on and off the field.
It seems like Fisher really had that players coach mentality. Like, he let the dudes like you, like, hey, you just got to be ready by Sunday type of mentality, and let you loose. Take the seatbelt off.
For sure. Long as you ready, when that thing starts, you at the stadium at 11 o'clock, Fisher pretty much is one of the, he's a player coach, I put it like that. If I had a choice to pick and play for anybody, Coach Fisher would be number one on the list.
That's awesome. Since we have you, before we let you go, I have one question now that I'm thinking about it.
Okay, last question. The Roback question. Use code BOYS on roback.com for 20% off your first purchase. That's RHOBACK.com. Code is BOYS. They work with the best college athletes, from Will Anderson to the boy Michael Mayer to Bijan Robinson. They also just dropped new performance joggers. Trust us, you're going to want these. So use code BOYS for 20% off.
There's always the question out there, did Vontaze Burfict end Antonio Brown's career? In your opinion, would you say that hit is what started the domino effect for Antonio Brown?
Well, he ain't never been the same since then. I'll just leave it at that. Yeah, I think it changed it. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do.
I wanted to ask because I remember that game. I remember Vontaze getting ejected. You guys are running to the locker room like, what a fucking electric rivalry game right there.
That still give me chills right now. I just got a chill going through my body when you said that.
Bro, yeah, that was electric. But, dude, we'd love to have you on here for real, like at least an hour or two chopping it up. Good luck this weekend, man.
Smoke on the bus.
Oh, yeah. You can
do whatever you want.
Do whatever you want, brother.
Good. As long as we can smoke on the bus, we'll set it up.
Yeah. All right, bro. Hey, Pac, I appreciate you, brother.
No problem, brother.
Have a good one. Appreciate you coming on, man. Outstanding individual.
Yeah.
Great player, great boxer, great father, great husband, great wife. He's got it all.
Dude, I had no clue that he's like in the middle of a contract negotiation with I Am Athlete.
I know. I could feel you
over there.
We're both
He's
stunned.
like, well, I mean, he better. And I'm thinking, hopefully you've been getting paid for. That's what I'm thinking in my head. He's like, I'm trying to figure out what you're asking. I'm like, well, I'm not trying to like make it sound like you made a bad move.
Hey, those ones are tough when you're on Zoom and it's just like you got 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah. But no, I didn't know. It seemed like he's been on for a handful of episodes and now he's in contract negotiation. Hey, Pac-Man could be one of the boys.
Hey, I thought the same thing.
So that's why I was like, you open? Like you talking
Well,
with
you did a good job of not saying too much.
Right.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. Everything's going according to plan.
Yeah, according to plan.
Do we want to hit tier talk real quick before we hit these ads? What time is it, by the way? Tier talk is the best things to do in cold weather. This is not Christmas. This is cold weather. The best things you can possibly do. Make that seasonal depression just a little bit better.
They're going to go first? I mean, I'm not prepared yet.
I'm not prepared either. Go ahead, boys.
So I'm taking this one over because I'm the only one from a cold place back here. So tier 3, it's this one. It can happen earlier than when it gets really, really cold, but it's just something that you get to like, I don't know if you can like play with it a little bit, but like when you can see your breath in the cold air and you can play with like the
talk about playing with your meat for a second.
when you can like see your breath in the air and it kind of like just go like just play with the steam or whatever. That's tier 3. Tier 2, this is one of the best days when you are in high school, middle school, elementary school. It's when it's a snow day and you can do literally whatever the hell you want, whether it's playing video games, like meet up with the boys and just hang out, or literally just watch movies all day, just having a snow day and not like literally just hanging out all day. And then number 1 for me, it has to be playing snow football with all your buddies if you're able to meet up somewhere and just like play football. And it's just more, it doesn't hurt as much when it's in the snow, and like you can kind of like rub your buddy's face in the snow and just kind of mess around doing that. So that is my tier talk.
One word.
You got a fart in you?
No, I don't have a fart in me. Neat.
Interesting.
My thing is,
Hold on. Hey. You get one word.
Yeah. Because it was Mitch, so might as well Mitch needs to own all these.
Native.
Agree.
Cold.
Chili.
My thing was like, you guys grew up in Nashville. Like it's
cold here.
Yeah, you guys.
I wasn't on the whole like Mitch. I just wanted one person to do it.
Oh, you were on like
Mitch from the only cold place here.
Yeah,
It's cold here. It's
No,
outside.
it's cold outside.
Cold right now.
Baby, it's cold outside.
And like it's
cold here. I'm saying.
I'll tell you what though, he had a big one that I'm adding to the bag.
No day.
Yeah.
All right, Willie, what you got?
My tier 3 is going to be water being cold the next day in your car. My tier 2 is going to be snow days. I think it's a good time. Video games. And my tier 1, when it's cold outside, goes to staying inside. And that concludes my tier talk on episode 191. What you thinking over there, big guy? What's the word?
Disappointing.
Oh, yeah, that caught me off guard.
Who's your first one again?
Water being cold the next day in your car.
Okay.
I mean, you had to expect this, right?
Hyphen mailed in.
Mm.
I'm gonna need more than that word.
No,
I'm gonna need
no.
context.
No, Gloss. You gave
Mailed
your-
in.
You mailed it in.
He's done
What
for the
does
day.
that even mean,
Hey,
boss?
you're not. It's
All
not
right.
your time.
Efficient.
Status quo.
Mine will also be hyphenated. Big brain.
Thank you, G. I appreciate that, brother.
That's
Everybody, all you guys backing up into each other. I mean, Jax wasn't necessarily like that.
Listen, you know,
They're all playing caterpillar with each other's fucking butt, dude. Like, oh, he said this, I'm gonna say mailed in. Each other's fucking butt.
dude, that's fucking. You literally gave 0 effort. Listen, here we go.
What do you hang on,
You gave 0 effort.
Why
That
did
was,
I give 0 effort?
buddy. All those were you missed a whole bunch
I
of
got a
stuff.
question. What was the one you subbed out?
Holiday food.
Hey, this man loves staying inside.
No,
Boy, I'm home. Yeah, I'm a homebody. So I'm literally thinking,
I'm a
what do
homebody.
I get excited about every time, like in the cold weather? Like, yeah, there's some dope shit to do, but
My honorable mention is going to go to snow days. And the reason why it's an honorable mention to me is because I never was afforded the luxury growing up in Arizona to have a snow day. But seeing the movies, seeing when kids had a good time, it's my time. Seeing when kids would go out there, have a blast, get after it with no school, no responsibilities. What an epic time that probably was. So that's my honorable mention. My tier 3
I already got my word.
is going...
Just trying to say.
Hey, would you fucking my tier 3? Now you stay with me together because if you put all these tiers together, you're gonna have a nice little time. It's gonna be a nice cozy afternoon. My tier 3 is when the first snowfall happens and it's a dumper, and all the boys, doesn't matter what age you're at, you're making snowmen, having snowball fights, you're laughing, giggling, taking your buddies' faces and maybe digging into the snow a little bit. You know what I'm talking about, Mitch? That is snow activities. That is my tier 3. My tier 2 is going to be a nice seasonal beverage, sipping on that thing, whether you're in your car, at your home, or if you want to go to my tier 1 and combine those 3 together, fireplaces. Having a good fire on a cold day in December. Buddy, it was literally your shout out, no free shout out. I can't believe you missed it. That's probably the best thing about the cold weather is when you get to night, stoke that fire, have a good time, and maybe play a little floor wrestling with your significant other.
Yeah, I mean, staying inside.
And it's still my time. That's my tier
Staying
talk.
inside.
And that's my tier talk. I want Will to go first.
Fake.
Educated.
Here come the caterpillars. Let's go, boys.
Back that
Fucking
ass-
let's
that
back
ass
these
up,
asses
baby.
up. Come on. You know what it was, Mitch?
Best yet.
That's 2 words. It's not fucking hyphenated.
Let's go.
Detailed.
Relaxed.
Oh,
You're getting all these boys off.
Innocent.
yours sucked.
That's okay. Listen,
Yours is
We'll-
bad. You
we'll
put
take-
0 effort in.
I did not put 0 effort
You put
in.
0. Listen, when I saw at the top of your list, stay inside, I was like, it's about celebrating. I don't like the winter. The winter can fucking kick rocks. If it was up to me, I would have literally run away from the snow my entire life. But
My
if I'm
word
in a
plays.
situation-
My word plays perfectly. Best things about cold weather, you're like, it can kick fucking rocks. So you could have, to yourself, came up with shit that like makes it kick rocks. But no.
no, I came with shit making the best of a bad situation in my mind.
Yeah.
Why? Because I'm a positive guy.
by choosing things you never even experienced before.
I experienced all of those things. I went to Michigan for 4.5 years.
You guys think it's snow days in college.
That's why I said honorable mention. I can imagine what that's like. It looks amazing. So I have to give it an honorable mention. I can't put it in my tier talk because I didn't grow up in a shit state. Is that
That's all I
crazy?
need. That's all I need.
That was wild. Sorry, the wintertime, it's just not for me. I almost transferred the first time the snow fell at Michigan. But the portal didn't work that way, and I'm happy I stayed. How you feel?
I feel great. I got my word off.
You look defeated.
No, I think it's gonna be good. I
Guys,
think
before
I
we
think
head
I
out,
think
we want to
everybody's gonna
thank all of you
take
for being a part
I
of
think
this
everybody's gonna
show day in
take
and
two
day
my
out. It's
tier
truly
talk.
amazing that you guys come and watch this show. It is absolutely ridiculous. We love you. We can't thank you enough. Please, I know that Cyber Monday and Black Friday is now over, but if you go to our merch store, check out all that stuff out. We have new stuff coming out all the time. You're absolutely going to love it. And also,
Willie wins again.
this thing right here, this Whistle Pig whiskey is
Willie Tier Talk.
incredible. But get the Bussin brand. You can get it at any place they sell Whistle Pig whiskey, any liquor store like that, or you can get it online based on the state you're at. Thank you guys so much. Have a fantastic day. We love you so much. Big hugs, tiny kisses.
Willie Tier.